Hi, this is Colin from the History Pilgrim. I'd like to thank you all for your support and would like to hear your comments. Be sure to leave a like and share with a friend. In an era of global connectivity, practically everywhere on our planet is somewhere you can travel to if you have the means and money to do it, with just a few exceptions such as Turkmenistan and North Korea. As the skies of our planet are full of the metal birds we call airplanes, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the nation with the largest economy has the planet's most visited airport. Not only is the world's busiest airport not even in one of the 10 largest cities in the United States, it is not even in the most populated US capital. One has to wonder what is so special about Atlanta that acts as such a massive magnet for scheduled airline flights from all corners of the globe. To find out why, one has to examine the factors of how being a long-established mega hub for multiple passenger airlines plays a huge role in moving people in and out of the US onto global passenger routes. The story starts in 1941 when a small airmail, formerly crop dusting service, Delta Airmail, relocated from Louisiana to Atlanta. In the years following the post-war economic boom after World War II, the Boeing facility in Everett, Washington switched from wartime production to civilian aircraft production. During World War II, the German-built Messerschmitt became the first ever jet aircraft. Enough expertise had been made during World War II for the Americans to have their turn at experimenting with jet engines. The construction of the U.S. highway system under Dwight D. Eisenhower, which was modeled after the German-built Autobahn, opened up previously hard-to-reach areas of the U.S. during the 1950s. While this put an interest in tourism in the minds of Americans, it became painfully clear that driving from one region of the U.S. to another was extremely time-consuming. Boeing launched its first ever passenger jetliner, the Boeing 707, in 1958. While ultimately for only the most wealthy travelers, this would usher in what was known as the golden age of flying. The majority of the major airports in the United States saw growth from World War II training facilities into passenger airports during the 1950s, with airports such as Boston Logan, New York International, later renamed JFK Airport, and Midway Airport in Chicago seeing an increase in passenger flights. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport was first developed into an airfield in 1925 on the location of a former racing track. That year would see the first scheduled passenger flight to Jacksonville, Florida. World War II would see the sudden growth of the airport. In 1957, construction began at what was at the time the largest passenger terminal structure in the United States. By 1971, the first international service would begin out of Atlanta, with flights to Mexico City and Montego Bay, Jamaica. The 1970s would see the massive construction of the Midfield Terminal complex to the already overcapacity airport. Because of the central location of Atlanta, combined with the massive size, the huge amount of flights could reliably serve this airport. The 1980s would see the airport quickly grow to be the first international air hub for the southeast United States. With the deregulation of the airline industry, airlines such as Delta Airlines and the now defunct Eastern Airlines skyrocketed in popularity. Deregulation was when the federal government gave more leeway to airlines to consider their own pricing, which allowed more people than ever to be able to afford to fly. However, deregulation would also see newer low-cost airlines emerge as competitors, with cheaper fares that were disruptive to the airline industry overall. In order to stay competitive in pricing, airlines quickly realized that a hub-and-spoke design was the easiest way to generate the greatest ticket revenue. By using a hub-and-spoke design, airlines could funnel the majority of their flights through one massive hub, saving on fuel and maintenance costs. By 1996, Atlanta had the petition to host the Summer Olympics, due in part to the world-class airport. By 1998, Hartsfield-Jackson Airport had become the world's busiest airport. With Atlanta being the largest airline hub on Earth, this created unique benefits for the local economy. The massive route network out of Atlanta ensured cheap and reliable flights to the city, making it the perfect location for businesses to relocate, as workers from all corners of the U.S. could reliably fly in and out quickly. This made it so the population jumped from 2.2 million people in 1990 to over 6 million people calling the Atlanta commuter belt home today. The greater Atlanta metropolitan area continues to be among the fastest growing regions in the U.S. It is fair to say that Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport is not only an airport serving the Peach State, but rather the main airport serving the southern United States' global air travel needs. Today, more than 60% of the passenger traffic through Atlanta is on connecting flights. With 80% of the US population living within a 2-hour flight from the airport, a common joke among Atlantans is if you're heading to hell from the southern US, it is expected to stop first in Atlanta. Other world cities such as New York City, Tokyo, and London saw considerable growth in air travel needs, but were already massive cities with little room to expand, leading to the reliance on airport systems rather than a singular airport. It is testament to how massive the flow of airplanes is in Atlanta that Heathrow and Gatwick airports in London combined now handle less passenger traffic than Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Because of the amount of activity at Atlanta Airport, the city is now the 7th most visited city in the US, with the surge of convention traffic and visitors of family who have relocated to the area. All of this would be amazing in its own merit were it not for the fact that all of those passengers are mere blips on the radar of the massive amount of connecting passengers through the gates of this airport. Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson is among the world's best connected airport, with direct flights to over 250 cities. The favorable climate of Atlanta, combined with it hosting the main maintenance hangars for Delta Airlines, means that the whole U.S. airspace is dependent on the reliable flow of flights. In December 2017, a power outage at the airport caused a domino effect of flight cancellations and delays all across the U.S. and Europe. In conclusion, Atlanta is undeniably one of the most advantageous locations on Earth to be a center of global air transportation, and it will continue to benefit the region economically for years to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more history videos. Sincerely, the History Pilgrim.